as a question, then, what in more modern times have you found scary as an older adult?
The presidency.
Nothing really. I don't think.
I do have one. Well, actually, I have a couple, but there's one more recent one that legitimately scared me because of how well it was done. From the movie Sinister, there's a scene in there. If you've ever seen the movie, if you haven't seen the movie, Ethan Hawke is watching these old film reels, and each one ends in some horrific death. And there's this one scene where you see this family and they're all happy and everything, and then it cuts to somebody working on a lawnmower, and it's just like, okay. And then the lawnmower is going around and it's mowing the lawn, and it's at night. And so it's like, okay, this is nothing. And then all of a sudden, what cuts into frame is the lawnmower running over the family. And it's like, so what they did was they actually, the director talked about this. They're like, we cut it to where the lawnmower scene was going on so long, you got bored. And then they put that in there at just the point where, like, you're ready to be like, all right, oh my God, So it was a fantastic, that's like a legitimate earned jump scare because it's so unexpected. So yeah, so it comes out and then you're like, oh my God. And they did it really well. And so that was one where it really got the blood pumping. And just you jumped, and it really showed the severity of everything, and it was fantastic. It was really, really well done, and it was an excellent movie, with the exception of the last like 2 seconds of the film where they did a jump scare, and it completely it still drives me nuts to this day. But I still love the movie.
So a jump scare, I'm gonna say, it depends on the jump scare, obviously, but I think that most jump scares are, they're not, they don't count because, I mean, it's the same thing as jumping out, saying boo at your sister or something. I mean, that's not really scary or unsettling. It's got to stay with you a little while longer.
It would scare me if my sister jumped out and scared me because she's dead.
Wow. That would be pretty scary.
We're crossing into unsettling, aren't we?
Yeah.
If you're asking about a modern movie that actually, I don't think it had too many jump scares in it, or if it did, they're not the ones that stand out at me, but just the movie itself I found to be pretty unsettling, even in my old age, was It Follows.
Yeah,
I thought, thought that one really did a good job. Just the idea of something invisible just coming after you, and you just try to stay ahead of it. It has kind of a Terminator vibe to it almost, it just keeps coming. But nobody else can see it, and you just have to make one mistake in your life, and that's
that whole movie is just anxiety and dread because
I don't know if it's an allegory for like STDs or something like that, or AIDS.
It's funny because what I took away from that film is I noticed, I haven't seen it in ages now, but I noticed that the sort of the last kid, he didn't get attacked because he actually loved the girl. And that's what I remember from it. And so
the ending's a little, I don't know.
It's kind of
It's just really unsettled. I just found it really unsettling, the whole idea. I thought that's pretty good if you could get crabby old me in my old age who doesn't get scared of nothing no more.
One of the interesting things about that movie is the heroine is not really that good of a person. Like, she fucks dudes just to get them killed, to give her a little bit more time too. Like, she knows,
Well, that's
kind of what happened to her, though, right?
Yeah, well, that's kind of the thing that they kind of willingly pass it on because they're afraid for their own life, and I mean it's what happened to her, and then I mean she went and got gangbanged essentially, so that, I mean, it's implied, but to get more time, and it always goes back to her. The one thing too that's really impressive about the film. It's something that you don't really notice right away, is how there's a lot of scenes where the camera is always slowly zooming. So it's like it's always focusing on her. It's always moving towards the victim. and it's really well done. I want to do a video on it at some point, but it's terrific. It's such a great movie. It really it came out for me at a time where I was kind of losing a little bit of faith in like movies because everything was so cookie cutter, and then I was like, all right, finally a really unique, good original horror film comes out.
Timeless, because there's nothing in it that dates it either. It feels like this weird modern, but yet in the 80s, you know, there's no cell phones.
The director did that on purpose.
Yeah. You know, the scariest part of that movie though is when the guy that she was hot for is the thing fucks him to death as his own mom. That's,
oh,
dude,
that's horrible.
Oh, damn, I don't remember that.
I remember that. Yeah,
I would have blocked that out too if I could.
For me, modern day. I was just going to say modern day. For me, the one that scared me is, and I think we mentioned this the other day, but when I first watched Ringu, which is the original Japanese version of The Ring, and it was like 99, I think it was. It was like before 2000, and oddly enough, a friend of mine had actually lent it to me on VHS. And all I knew about the film is you watch this videotape and you get a phone call saying you're going to die in 7 days, and you die in 7 days. That's all I knew, nothing else. And when he lent me the video, if you look on our channel, it's actually got the introduction by there's a what's his name, a movie review over here called Mark Commode. It was a complete and utter pretentious bell end. And he no, the reason why I say that is when it was first shown on Film 4, which was like a channel over here, he actually introduced it and gave away the ending and said, and at the ending, when Samara climbs out the TV, it will scare the shit out of you. And it was just
spoilers.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it by now, but like I say, my mate said to me, don't watch the introduction, just watch the film. And my wife had gone to bed, I put the headphones on, turned all the lights out. And I mean, the first 80 minutes of the movie are creepy. They are really creepy and really well done. And it's what I like about it is there's like false build-ups to then what don't lead to a jump scare, but then he chucks another one in somewhere else and stuff, and it was really well done. But the last 10 minutes, when the whole thing with the TV, I was squirming in the sofa. It was so brilliantly done. It was absolutely fantastic. Like I say, I didn't sleep for a week after that. It was great. And I mean, I must have seen it when I was older.
I would have to pick for modern day a Japanese horror film, The Audition, and it's the scene where he calls her and she's talking to him on the phone, and you see this sack behind her while she's talking, or she's waiting on the call, and then it moves, and you realize there's something in there, and then she lets it out, and it's previous boyfriend all amputated and blinded, and she vomits into a dog bowl to feed him. And oh man, it's so intense. I'm sorry if I ruined it for you. Have you seen it, Cecil? I don't know.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty intense. I mean, that scene's like the creep factor, just because at that point in the movie, you know she's a little weird, but you find out just how weird.
Yeah, there's a little weird, like in Kinky Things in Bed, and then there's, getting your ex-boyfriend, amputating him and throwing up into his mouth to feed him.
Yeah. I can't wait to see that Venn diagram. Yeah. So
let me just throw this in real quick. The director Takashi Miike, really experimental director, but he had done that movie as a way of experimenting with the audience, because he wanted to see if he could make a film that could redeem itself. So he made the beginning of the movie as boring as possible. He wanted to really make it just so that the audience got lulled into this feeling of like, oh God, and then really pull it back at the end and see if he could draw the audience back and horrify them. And he succeeded. Because,
well done,
because everybody is like, oh my God, that movie. I mean, that movie, Rob Zombie talks about that as one of, a movie that, he just adores and thinks is brilliant.
It really inspired the Munsters.
Yes, it helped to inspire the Munsters. Although, see, with that, he just made it boring through the whole movie.
But at least it was photographed poorly.
Yeah. One of my other picks for modern would have to be the ending of Bone Tomahawk, where one of the deputies is they pull him and just split him from crotch to the neck, and you get to see it all in loving detail. And then he's what's left of him is barbecued across the open. Fucking horrific scene, because you know what they're getting ready to do something to him, and if you know based on the rest of the movie, you know it's going to be pretty graphic, but you are not prepared for just how friggin' over the top, and it looks so fucking real. Too.
Yeah. It's one of those what I just call like holy shit moments where you sit there and go, like, because you're just like, whoa, that's way beyond. Yeah, you're not expecting it at all.
Thank you for watching this excerpt from Outpost Frequencies. Tune in live every Sunday at noon Central Time or 6 o'clock UK time. And also, remember to come to lastmovieoutpost.com for all your latest in movie news, streaming news, and everything cool about film. We are the cool news now. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next stream.